Gary England, Inside the Bears Cage, is brought to you in part by Ford, Payless Cashways, and Joe Esco Tire Company. Gary England, Inside the Bears Cage. Take a trip to the edge of danger, next.
On May the 7th this year, we had some rather wild weather in Oklahoma, and some of our storm trackers found themselves inside the Bears Cage. Now, the Bears Cage is a very dangerous part of the storm since it's close to the center of a tornadic circulation. Now, on that day in May, as things heated up in the field, the Bears Cage was also a good description of the TV9 Forecast Center. It's from this center right here that our team of meteorologists monitor and track the storms through Oklahoma. Now, we're not only responsible for warning you of severe weather, but it is also our job to get the storm chasers as close as possible to ground zero, and so they can tell whether the tornado actually there or not. TV9 storm trackers are our eyes in the field, obviously, the human contact between our technology and the storm. Tonight, you'll see them doing what they do best, chasing wild Oklahoma storms on the highways, dirt roads, and off the roads. Now, you may have seen the movie Twister, but tonight you'll see what it's really like inside the Bears Cage, both in the field and here in the TV9 Forecast Center.
We do need a final word on the weather tonight.
Certainly do. Let's check in with Gary. Gary?
We'll take a look at Doppler 9000 XL. This storm in northern Oklahoma along the border there is about, could produce a tornado at any time. If you ever heard us talk about a hook echo, that is a hook echo. Storm trackers Val Castor and Rob Satgisk are keeping watch on storms threatening Oklahoma just west of the border. So Val moves westward toward the gathering storms. Storm trackers Mark Hill and Will Bakula are near Watonga driving north. If the storm turns right, they should intercept it northwest of Wakita. Randy Renner and News 9 photographer Mark Dawson have just finished a story in Stillwater. Their destination is north towards Medford. And live truck engineer Bill Newton is also headed north to a location near Tonkawa. All field units are now moving into storm intercept positions.
Where was he?
132.
He's on this road. We have
Okay, so you're going to go across on 11. I think that's his best bet.
Have a large rotating wall cloud just to my north. I'm located near Sand Creek on Highway 132, just north of Highway 11.
We're just west of Medford, headed toward the little community of Clyde. A large wall cloud in the distance there. Perhaps you can see it.
This will be an update on the storm we've been following in northern Oklahoma. It has had a mesocyclone with it. It has increased in intensity, so now we do have a tornado warning on it. Let's check Doppler 9000 XL. Movement on this storm has been varying between east-northeast and east-southeast. And you folks in Wakita would be a prime track of this particular storm.
I'm 2 miles north of Highway 11 on the road leading to Waukeeta, which will put me about 3 miles south of Waukeeta. The main updraft is approximately 2 miles to my north.
Keep his video rolling, Grant. We'll stop him and bring it on again. Okay, I got a transfer.
Yeah.
Jenny, what's the Gettner number?
9988.
Tell me when you're going to want to go.
I am not ready.
30 seconds.
Right here.
We are not ready.
Not ready.
We're just about ready. We'll shot. Come on. Come on. Okay. Come on.
shot coming.
Are we taping? Tell him we got Gettner. Are we taping?
Rolling.
Tell him we got Gettner. Control run.
We have the phoner.
Thank you.
Do you want to go? 15 seconds.
Good to go.
Okay, I am ready. I am ready. This is a priority one.
You'll have no
I'm
meeting.
ready, and we're going to take storm action.
Are you ready?
I am ready. Keep going on
Stand by.
4 frame.
Stand by, Gary.
4 frame. It's going to stay on 4 frame just until you can. Okay.
Let's check our storm action video coming at Mark Hill on our storm tracker. And on the right-hand side, you see a tornado on the ground. This would be west-northwest of you folks in Wakita. There's video coming in from one of our storm trackers. Tornado on the ground, west-northwest of the Wakita area. Woo! Doggies. Out west, Val and Rob are moving toward a tornadic thunderstorm.
The only one I see out here is 749. I don't know if we brought past it or not yet.
I doubt it. Any of these dirt roads go through? Miss Val, I want to stop right here. We're about ready to have a tornado. Just about ready to have a tornado. We got a nice little cloud.
And that's when I called back to the station and told them, I said, hey, we've got a rapidly rotating wall cloud just west of the Oklahoma border out here west of Sweetwater. We were inside the area of wraparound precip. Now this area of the storm is known as the Bears Cage. Now, we were in the Bears Cage, and that's the most dangerous part of the storm because you're right close to the circulation.
Tornado on the ground.
And there it is, tornado on the ground, quickly becoming wrapped in rain. Obviously, Val needs to find an east road if he wants to stay ahead of the storm. But that's the least of his problems at this time. He's going to have to make a quick decision. What do you do with a dead-end road on one side and a monster storm staring you in the face on the other? You'll find out. Plus, holy mackerel.
That's when I knew that, I'd someplace I probably shouldn't have been.
A TV9 engineer finds himself in a precarious position. And we'll check back with our storm trackers in Grant County where they're engaging a massive high precipitation tornadic supercell. The action continues right after this. By this time, the adrenaline was really flowing as our storm trackers report a huge rotating wall cloud. Reports on the storms are coming in fast and furious as our storm chasers find themselves inside the bear's cage. Randy Renner and Mark Dawson are cautiously approaching this very dangerous storm. Now, Mark Hill and Will Bakula, they come upon the storm, look to the northwest, and they see this area, this huge area of rotating rain. It's a giant wall cloud just to their northwest. Val Castor, he's out near the Oklahoma-Texas border, and he has his hands full. The wall cloud he's following is leading him across dirt roads and open rangeland, just about everywhere except paved roads.
And we're driving down the dirt road, and all of a sudden we come to a dead end. And we turn back around, and here's this big monster storm staring us in the face. Big green and blue core area. You can tell that there's large hail and very, very heavy precip in that core area. And we were 12 miles from nowhere out on this maze of dirt roads. We had no choice. We had to turn around and go back through the storm. So as soon as we did, the rain hit and the hail hit, and all of a sudden the road turns into a river. And we came back out the front edge of the rain just in time to see another wall cloud heading right towards us. And the wall cloud passed almost directly over us, and it did not produce a tornado, but that's the second time that we were in the bear's cage in that situation.
Sirens in Waukeeta, no damage indicated this time. Keep me posted, John. Thanks. Bye.
He's at the, where's the building? The building's, he's up here.
He's 8 miles south of Tonkawa, 11 miles south of Tonkawa right now.
He's 11 south of Tonkawa.
I looked to my west and I saw what appeared to be a very dark cloud. It turned out to be a rain shaft that was moving along the ground very rapidly.
Holy mackerel.
And a lot of cloud cover, a lot of scud, as they call it, that hangs down beneath the clouds, are just being sucked up into it at a fantastic rate.
He's right. The circulation's going to pass this to the south. Yeah. This whole thing, the mesocyclone's going to pass right over just south of Waukeeta. Medford? Medford doesn't look too good right now. Too good right now, old girl. Sure doesn't. Looks a little bit on the scary side.
So I immediately called the station and had them book me some satellite time. So I let the weather center see what I was seeing.
Gary, he's got a large wall cloud just southwest of Waukeeta.
Large wall cloud just southwest of Waukeeta.
Gary, you're straight out.
Rapid rotation or slow rotation?
Straight out the right. Rotation with it. Rapid rotation.
That's when I found out that I was in a pretty precarious situation and didn't know it at the time.
Ready.
Is that big?
This may be going, Jerry, it may be going around.
Okay, let's tell him we're concerned about where he is at.
I already said that to him a minute ago. He's got a place picked out.
We're discussing it.
The only place he had was a ditch behind his truck.
Well, Gary took a look at the video, and I could hear him in the background talking to the folks inside the weather center. And he says, how long will it take him to pack up and get out of there? I'm hearing this, and they're not saying it to me. And I'm looking around. They said, is there a ditch nearby? And which there was a ditch nearby. I'd already scoped that out. And so I told him, I said, well, it'll take me probably 2 or 3 minutes to pack up and get out of here if I have to. I'll just leave everything running and just stow the antenna and just roll. But that's when I knew that, I'd someplace I probably shouldn't have been.
Holy smokes. Look at that.
Mark yourself on the time. Mark your time.
Gotcha.
Mark Hill, one of our storm trackers there, said the wall cloud is going to pass directly over or maybe just a little south of you folks in Waukeeta. But in and around Waukeeta, take your immediate tornado precautions. He reports this to be a very large, rapidly rotating wall cloud, extremely dangerous. Tornado touched down from it earlier.
Right here. This whole thing is rapid.
Yeah, this is going to eat our lunch, Mark.
We're okay, Will. several tornadoes before that, and the wrapping rain was coming around to the west and to the south of us, which showed that we were well inside the Bears cage and you have rain going all the way around you.
Look at circulation on this.
Oh my God.
Check and see if has anything coming out.
That's your new, that's going to be your new tornado warning. We'll probably go in before that.
Yeah.
Okay. Northern Grant. Tornado warning, Northern Grant.
Coming together again, man. Yeah, we're just west now of Medford. And yes, we're just west.
And you guys should be seeing a huge wall cloud soon.
We see it. We're just, in fact, we're gonna go back east toward Medford because we're just about right up to it. Large rotating wall cloud, a lot of action in the clouds, a lot of updrafts as well. It looks very intense.
We continued on and intercepted the storm around Medford. What made it really difficult was it was wrapped in rain. And I'd never seen anything quite like that one on a thunderstorm. Usually it's rain everywhere and you really can't see even the lowering at some points. This one you can actually see the rain going in a horizontal motion, and you know somewhere in there was maybe a tornado. Sirens were firing off in the Medford area. People were coming up to us asking what they should do, where they should go. We told them to turn on Channel 9. And Gary gave them the latest information. We had Gary on the phone with us, so we were always in the perfect position.
They've blowed the sirens, so everybody's in the Frady hole, or ought to be.
When we come back, Randy Renner and Mark Dawson are in the path of a rain-wrapped tornado.
Tornado on the ground!
Tornado on the ground! We have a tornado on the ground!
And those aren't pennies from heaven. They're giant hailstones, and Val Castor gets hit with the harsh realities of storm chasing.
Look at that! It's a baseball!
Tornadoes wrapped in rain are quite dangerous since you can't see them. That's the problem Randy Renner and Mark Dawson faced. They were in position to intercept the storm near Medford. Doppler radar showed a very strong circulation in the storm. All they needed were a few seconds of clearing to get a picture. Let's join the chase.
Renner, where are you located? The guy just west, he's got the circulation on Highway 11.
That's where we are.
Is it coming towards you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're driving a little bit south now on a dirt road so we can get a little better angle.
Then we started getting golf ball size hail. We started getting pelted with golf ball size hail. And after the golf ball size hail, then we started getting baseball size hail. And we were sitting there shooting video out the window of all these golf balls falling, bouncing all over the place. And I looked out across the field and I saw this huge hailstone. So I parked right next to it and opened my door and reached down to get it. And when I stuck my head out the window, golf ball size hail hit me in the back of the head. That didn't feel too good.
That's a baseball.
It was just a mess, but we made it out.
So who we got, Randy?
I've got Bobby, I've got Mark, and Randy.
Who sees something?
All of them see something.
Let me talk to Randy.
Turning a little bit more to the right.
Yes, it's taking a hard right turn.
And what do you see right now?
What are you guys seeing?
Large rotating wall cloud.
And the only storms that stayed are in northern and far northwestern Oklahoma.
I see circulation in the rain. It's either getting ready to hit us or I can't tell. It's just rain everywhere. I think we better go. It's right. Is that it right? Behind that. See the rotation. I don't see anything on the. Go. Just go. Move. We're not. But just the whole cell. Randy and I decided that for us to see this thing, we were going to have to go between the rain and the tornado to get a shot at it.
I don't want to go very fast because I can't see on the thing.
And was hoping that the rain would pass over us and therefore we could see it in the Bears cage. And sure enough, we're heading south on that little dirt road, and there we saw it.
Tornado on the ground! Tornado on the ground. We have a tornado on the ground just east of Medford.
When you're on the chase, you kind of forget the clocks, and you're talking to Gary on the phone or Brady back in the Weather Center, asking them, how's it looking on radar? Are we in the right position? Should we go south? Should we go north? And that's what makes it nice, Gary, and having experience that he has. He gives us that information that we need, but he also lets us do our job.
When I passed through Medford with a large rotating wall cloud and possible tornado on the ground about 2 or 3 miles to the northwest, people were coming outside looking for it. Tornado sirens were going off, the warning was given. However, very few people, if any, were taking shelter, and that concerned me tremendously. Especially when I went by the school and there were 30 to 40 students outside the school, in front of the school parking lot.
And a good thing to remember, folks, is always take shelter long before the storm arrives. When we come back, storm chasing may not be what you think it is. Plus, a Purcell woman beats the odds and lives to tell her story.
We just rolled in over in. It was just like being on a ride.
Stay with us. Well, May the 7th was a hectic day, but fortunately the twisters hit mostly open areas and caused very little damage, and there were no reports of injuries. Our TV9 storm trackers had some close calls, but everyone came out just fine. Randy Renner and Mark Dawson confirmed a tornado touchdown and escaped the Bears cage without a scratch. Mark Hill and Will Bakula also confirmed a tornado and helped us to provide early warnings to you folks in northern Oklahoma. Bill Newton, our live truck operator, well, now he has a deeper respect for Oklahoma twisters. And Val Castor and Rob Satkis confirmed a tornado and also confirmed that one should not venture out into large hail.
There's a dust swirl on the ground.
Then on Memorial Weekend, there were more tornadoes, this time unfortunately with damage and injuries in Oklahoma and bordering states.
Val's on one.
Val's on one, let's go.
Val's on one. We've got storm action video.
Another tornado on the ground. Let's go directly to live to Val in the field. Val?
We're looking northwest about 2 to 3 miles at this large wall cloud.
The tornado continues on the ground about a mile due east of us. It has gone through a mobile home. It appears there's damage on a mobile home about half a mile due east of us.
Annette Williams and her daughter were in their mobile home when the tornado struck.
And all the windows, I heard all the windows just suck in all at once. And the walls outside the laundry room were just moving back and forth, and then they just disappeared, and that's when it started rolling, and we just rolled in over in. It was just like being on a ride.
Remember, plan ahead so you can take the proper safety precaution before a storm hits. Below ground shelter is the best.
So we see the whole thing. We see the storm we chase, and then after it's finished, we see what a storm does. So I think with that, we have a little bit maybe more respect for tornadoes and what they really can do, because we see what happens afterwards.
We have a tornado on the ground just south of Duncan, reported by one of our storm trackers. Let's go to W9000 XL. That'll be the storm on the lower left there. And reports of a rotating wall cloud south parts of Duncan. Now tornado reported on the ground just south of Duncan. Movement should be to the east-southeast. Not only did we now have a tornado on the ground at Duncan, but tornadoes continue to pound other parts of Oklahoma and bordering areas as well.
Jed, got a tornado. Priority 1, tornado on the ground.
I was backing up real fast and reversing. I went into the ditch, but I didn't get out of it. I thought for sure I was going.
It's on the ground. It's on the ground. On the ground. On the ground. Debris. Tornado on the ground. Gary, we're about 5 miles east of the town of Okfuskee, and we're looking to our north-northwest.
We're gonna have to bail out. I'm thinking about heading west temporarily.
I don't know. We don't know if it might be on the ground, Gary. It's hard to tell. I think it
motion,
is.
it's got to be.
It's got to be on the ground, Gary. Got to be on the ground, and it's looking like a wedge.
And obviously this is not over with yet. By now, if you're not convinced that storm chasing is a wild and dangerous job, take a look at this next piece. I call it storm chasing. May not be what you think it is.
God was like, that's going to get us. We got to feel it. It's right here, Mark. We got debris everywhere.
86 miles an hour. 91.
Whoever's watching this, we're getting out of here. Turn around, go the other way.
Tornadoes are a small price to pay to live in a state as wonderful as Oklahoma. And you know, it's the people who make it special. Like you and the ones you've seen tonight who are committed to your safety. And to celebrate this great state and its great people, we have a special song written by one of our TV9 storm trackers, Dave Temez. The music is scored by Dave Mathis and sung by David Posey. So let's roll on Friday Night in the Big Town. It is, yes, it is Friday Night in the Big Town.
Wow.
Jump back, turn around, roll me down. It's Friday night in this big old town. Jump back, turn around, roll me down. It's Friday night in this big old town. Jump back, turn around, throw me down the road. In this big old town. In this big old town. Jump back, turn around, throw me down. In this big old town. In this big old town. Jump back, turn around, roll me down.
He's got a large wall cloud.
And on the right-hand side, you see a tornado on the ground. I can't see a thing. You can see the wall cloud, or you can see the tornado. Then a tornado touchdown. So this here TV9 will keep you advised.
Gary England, Inside the Bears Cage, was brought to you by Ford, Payless Cashways, and Joe Esco Tire Company.